Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Theros Beyond Death draft here on the channel. It has returned to Arena. It's a format from all the way back in 2020, which is crazy to say because I drafted this format a ton, and we're going to be going pick by pick, play by play, talking through it all so you can enjoy this great format yourself. There's already a NicolaiBolas draft guide on this format. It's one of my first draft guides ever, kind of sparked the whole thing, which is pretty cool, and you can watch that. There's a draft guide 2.0, which is basically my old draft meta update, and you can already watch those on the channel. Okay, Allure of the Unknown is not a playable card, if I recall correctly. Yeah, you give your opponent a really good spell, and you don't want to play this one. Commanding Presence is actually quite good. It might not look it, but you basically, if your creature survives, you just get like such a huge like swing that it's quite nice. Black is kind of where you want to end up in this format. It was like the best color by a pretty wide margin. But our black cards are not great. This card's mediocre. This card's like the only unplayable black card pretty much, though people still tried to make it work. And then there's Discordant Piper, which is solid, but not a card you're going to first pick. Naiad of Hidden Coves can do some serious work as well. There's a lot of instants in blue. But I don't really want to first pick that. Traveler's Amulet can lead to some cool decks. Omen of the Forge, honestly, a decent pickup potentially. I think I'm going to take Commanding Presence, though. This card can do some serious work in the right matchup. Okie doke. Green-white was not a great place to end up, so like Warbriar Blessing is like a great card. Nyx Herald is like a solid card. I'm going to try to hover over the cards so you can read them if you're not as familiar. But these green cards are not the best follow-up to a white card. White-black was a color combination that I really liked, though, so I think I'm going to take Final Death here. Final Death might not look like much, but 5 mana to exile something is really solid in this format because there is escape, which means things keep coming back and back and back and back over and over and over. Omen of the Sea is like the best blue common, so that's worth noting as well. This card's quite powerful. It doesn't look it necessarily, but it triggers like stuff that cares about enchantments coming into play. If you watch my draft guide, you'll see like more about the like individual cards and synergies and stuff. But there's cards that care about enchantments coming into play. There's ways to sacrifice it for value. And overall a nice card. Shoal Kraken's also fine, but not really. I think I would go Final Death, and then I'd take Warbriar, and then I'd take Omen of the Sea. Maybe Nyx Herald gets into the mix there somewhere. But yeah, whenever there is a good black card, taking it is generally pretty good. And now there's Dreadful Apathy, which is the best white common. This card is really, really good. It's looking like red might be a little bit open. Red-white is a color combo I do not mind drafting at all. Underworld Ragehound is pretty reasonable. Incendiary Oracle is pretty reasonable. Skophos Maze Warden. I know I'm hovering over these fast, so I'll go back to those. But this one's even reasonable as well. So basically, there's that guy. But I would probably take the Incendiary Oracle if I was taking a red card. I think Underworld Ragehound having to attack can be a downside. Dreadful Apathy is just really good. And then Vexing Gull is actually surprisingly playable. Like there's Instant Speed Matters decks, and being able to play a proactive threat in those decks is really good. There's another Warbriar Blessing as well, so I'm not like ignoring that, but Dreadful Apathy is really, really good. Okay. We are seeing a lot of red. Red was, if I recall correctly, and trust my past self, because I was like looking at my old videos and stuff a little bit, and past Nikolai was like, yeah, red is the worst color. I don't think any of them are unplayable, but red doesn't have as much good stuff going on, but we are seeing a decent amount of red here. Return to Nature is a card you can main deck. There are a lot of enchantments in this set, so that's something to keep in mind. Leonin of Lost Pride, not a card that I really like to prioritize. Ichthyomorphosis is fine. Starlit Mantle's fine. Blue-white's not really a color combination. That's great, though. And there's no black cards, so somebody else knows what's going on. I might just take the red card. I think I'd rather have Ragehound than the Omen of the Forge. And red-white is a deck I don't mind drafting. And now there is Omen of the Forge. We are seeing a little bit of blue. Thirst for Meaning is quite good. I love Enigmatic Incarnation. We're so far away from drafting those, but this is one of my favorite cards to draft in the set just because of how fun it is. It's very unique. Omen of the Forge, Thirst for Meaning, both options. Pious Wayfarer could also be an option if I just wanted to stick to my white cards. Kind of just want to take white cards here. Maybe just poach someone's black cards in pack 2. Like, I'm not seeing any black cards this direction, which means the person to my left certainly isn't seeing any black cards. So I can go for, like, the old pass and cut and just get white cards pack 1 and black cards pack 2, and then just white cards again pack 3. It's not very kind to the person next to me, especially the person to my right, but because they're trying to maybe cut black. That's how it goes sometimes. This card's okay. This card, pretty nice. As a combat trick, this card's reasonable as well. Omen of the Dead is fine. Plays well with Pious Wayfarer. This card plays well with Commanding Presence, so I might take it, but I think I can get that probably later. We did have the pieces for a blue deck kind of go by. I think we're going to get deep into white. We could also just take Omen of the Dead. But I think we're going to lean towards more of an aggressive variant, potentially, if we do have this Countermeasures Blessing. This card's fine. This card's fine. This card's much better than it looks, actually. We might actually take this. We have been seeing a lot of blue. Nothing too crazy, but like Witness of Tomorrow's is fine. We're seeing some green here. Moss Viper, a classic 1/1 Death Toucher. We're even seeing that in Outlaws of Thunder Junction. I think it's called Ankle Biter in that set, though. I'll take the Scophos over Dream Shaper. Now there's Revoke Existence, definitely a card you can play. This is actually crazy. These cards are both really, really good. Loathsome Chimera is actually a little bit better than Voracious Typhon, even though like 4 mana 4/4 back then especially was better than a 3 mana 4/1, because escaping this for only 5 mana is pretty great. I'm leaning towards this kind of red-white aggro deck, but I don't have any real reason to avoid green-white, and I think I will just take a speculative pick here over Revoke Existence, and we'll just leave ourselves a little more flexible. Plummet, not really where I want to be. Indomitable Will is a fine combat trick, though. Okay. Wings of Hubris was actually a decent card in, like, Sealed, I think. But neither here nor there. This card's not really playable. This card actually has some synergies in red-white specifically, so we'll take it here. Wheeling Underworld Ragehound is nice. There's also Aspect of Manticore, which is fine, but nothing crazy. And Thrill of Possibility is totally fine. Not really a good red-white card, but I think red-white's going to be a fine spot for us to end up. I'll pass the last pick blue card. I'm not going to end up in blue here, unless I open Dream Trawler. I don't really regret any of my picks here. It's also weird because there should be 15 cards in the pack, I think. I guess they don't have the basic lands. Okie doke. So, Timuret Calls the Dead is pretty good card. 3 mana, you get a 2/2, almost always, or I mean a lot of the time. And then you get another 2/2, and then you get to the Gain Life and Scry. I think black is going to be very contested in pack 3. It should be pretty open from this direction, so I could just take the chance, because I'm not really giving up that much red. And the pack card I would take here is like Dreamstalker. And I do think white-black is good, so I'm just going to take the black card here, and then potentially just go into black for just this pack. I don't think I'm going to miss a Pious Wayfarer. I do like this card. This card's sweet. There's also Rise to Glory. Creature from your graveyard to the battlefield and Aura from your graveyard to the battlefield. Both of those effects are quite nice. Especially because I have Dreadful Apathy, which is really, really nice with that effect. So I might just take this now. Careless Celebrant's fine, but white-black was one of my favorite color combinations, and I'm happy to just kind of go for this strategy. Hateful Eidolon is nice. There's also Hero of the Nyxborn. So I could just go back towards red-white after my little deviation. Because this card's really good with Phalanx Tactics, Indomitable Will, not Dreadful Apathy, Commanding Presence. All 3 of those cards work well with it. Works well with Omen of the Sun. This card's not the best, but this card's really good when it works. But I don't really have synergy pieces with it right now. There are some pieces. I'm just going to take this card now. I'm going to keep towing this line. There's also Omen of the Sun, which is guaranteed to make my deck. I really like Omen of the Sun. Maybe the best white common. I'm just going to take the Omen of the Sun, actually. And now we get another Final Death. These are the kind of red-white cards that you play when you have in Phalanx Tactics. This card's mediocre, medium, but yeah, Final Death is great here. Flicker of Fate is really cool, because Flicker of Fate, what you do is you can put the ability from Dreadful Apathy on the stack and then flicker it and then bring it back to something else, attached to something else. So Flicker of Fate has a lot of good synergies. Also, you can use it with Timoret. I think I'm just going to take another Commanding Presence, though, over Flicker of Fate. I do like Flicker of Fate, though. And I would play one. It's more of those like niche cards that you don't play too many copies of, though. Okay, I think I can take my one copy here over the Chimera. How much is my creature count looking? 5 creatures. Never mind, we're taking Chimera. Chimera's a nice card. I don't mind taking it. Birth of Meletus. Another creature. This one's like a nice little way to get an enchantment in your graveyard. Little blocker as well. Yeah, so like this will be able to exile enchantments more frequently and stuff like that. I'm feeling okay about this draft. This isn't really a Pious Wayfarer deck. If I cut all those, I think everyone's kind of must realize that green white's not great to end up in. I think I'll just take a Venomous Hierophant. This card was always solid. This card's medium, not my favorite. Venomous Hierophant is nice, though. Not the greatest card here. I just take the 2-drop. Revoke Existence. Yeah, people are sleeping on Omen of the Sea. I didn't really want to pair it with my white cards, but it is a solid card. One copy of Revoke Existence is fine. Sure, we'll just take the Lagona. We can gain a decent amount of life. Make some extra 1/1s with Omen of the Sun, get back a Dreadful Apathy, all that good stuff. It's not like the greatest card, but against aggro, when you face it, it's pretty good. I'm happy passing a blue card and a green card. I don't think the person next to me was even dabbling in red, because I got a lot of red. I wouldn't mind a second Karametra's Blessing now that I have 2 Commanding Presences, but I think having more blessings than presences is a bit odd. So my creature count is now 4. That's funny. We'll have to fix that a little bit. This is kind of a creature. This is kind of creatures. This card's hilarious. You're not going to take it, but it's hilarious. We'll just take Dreadful Apathy. It's really good. There's a lot of good green cards in this pack. This card's excellent. This card's pretty solid. This card's good. This card is medium. This card's good. But Dreadful Apathy is the best one. Even though I'm light on creatures and I have a ton of removal already. We kind of have like 2 more creatures, so it's kind of artificial. We have 6 creatures, which is still pathetically low. Actually, this is another creature, so we have like 7 creatures. If we can enable the Timoret Calls the Dead. I love this card. This was one of my favorite cards to play with, but we are not going that direction. Probably just going to go Sunmane Pegasus here. This card's sweet. Our red-white deck might have had a little bit more playables and stuff, but I think this deck's going to be pretty good. This card's also reasonable. This card's totally fine to play, though. Plays well with the Commanding Presences, though. Ooh, this card's excellent. Big fan of Ashiot Alseid. This card's pretty good, too, but we're not blue. There's a lot of white cards. I hope I wheel one of these 3. I'd play any of these 3. But Alseid is great. You can protect your group creature from removal. You can gain life. It's an enchantment for synergies that care about that. I have a decent number of white cards. This card's interesting. So the way this works is it turns it into an enchantment and makes it lose its creature types, like creature or whatever. So it is no longer able to attack and block if it's not a creature. I could take Hoplite. Or I could just take a Sunman. I'm just going to take the Hoplite. Seems high upside. Now there's another Hoplite. There's also an Omen of the Sun. I think Omen of the Sun's just better. Not that I'm going to wheel Hoplite or anything. Okay, now we get another solid card, the Captivating Unicorn. Another one of the actual bad black cards. Unicorn's fine, plays well with my omens and stuff. I'm going to take Lampad. Lampad is one of the best black commons. Hero of the Winds is totally fine, but Lampad plays really well with all these Omen of the Sun tokens and stuff. Oh, what could have been. Wheeling Omen of the Sun should probably not happen, but... And this card's also pretty good, I think, but we're in a good spot here. This Lampad was actually a really good pickup. I love Mischievous Chimera. Love this card. Because there's a blue deck. Also, Thirst for Meaning is really good. But we'll just take another creature. Our creature count's up to 10, but we have all these omens and stuff, so we're pretty fine on creature count. Birth of Meletis wheeled. Nice. No one wants to play blue, I guess. Well, now we have a couple of cuts to make, but we're generally in pretty good shape. We have Commanding Presence with 2 protections for it, or at least somewhat protections. Birth of Meletis is totally fine. Phalanx Tactics could be good in this deck. I don't think we want the Pious Wayfarer. I think we're going to be more of a slow deck than that. So now we have to make 4 cuts. I am biased towards white, so I think Reverend Hoplite is going to be good. Laguna Band isn't the best. Pegasus isn't the best. This guy's certainly not the best. Phalanx Tactics, maybe we don't want. Indomitable Will could be a pass. If I'm going to run a combat trick, I'd probably rather run Phalanx Tactics, though. Phalanx Tactics doesn't work as well without the like cards that care about like casting and targeting them. But I do have these Omens of the Sun and stuff. But I'm just going to get through with those with removal. I'm going to cut these 2 combat tricks. Birth of Meletis is probably necessary to keep me alive in the early turns while I set up with all my removal and stuff. Guess I could cut a Rage Scarred Berserker. 2 more cuts. Laguna. I think it's going to be nice. I don't want Temple Thief, even though I don't have a lot of 2-drops. I have plenty of life gain and stuff. I guess I don't need the life gain from Laguna. I think Sunman is pretty good. Yeah, I like this deck. I think it's going to play out pretty well. I'm excited to see how it does, and I will see you folks in the games. Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support the NicolaiBolas channel at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Patrons are the ones who contribute directly towards the channel so that I will be able to make as many videos as I do. They gain access to some cool rewards in the process, like my tier list for each set and things like that. But fundamentally, Patreon is a place to support the content you enjoy so it can continue being made in the future. And for that, I am very grateful. I want to give a huge shout out to those who support at the credits level. It really makes a big difference. And without further ado, let's get to the games. Welcome. On the draw, we have an easy keep. We've got our Birth of Meletis. Nice, we have our combo. This is kind of our combo we're trying to assemble. Omen into Hierophant into presence on the Hierophant plus Karametra's blessing backup. They're deciding whether or not to kill this with Return to Nature or something. I'm throwing out a lot of card names. Return to Nature is a 2-mana, like, pretty much kill anything type card. Kill a enchantment or an artifact or exile something from a graveyard. Omen of the Sun. Plus Revelant Hoplite. I'm going to make a lot of 1/1s. This guy's blocking all day, every day. Sure. Wow, Birth of Meletus embarrasses Underworld Charger. So you see this is like a removal spell that can kill their Nyx Herald and stuff. No, Rise to Glory, come back. I wish I had an escape card in my deck so I could show you how strong it is to have cards with escape. Like, even just one card with escape goes a long way. And I don't have those. But I will be able to show that in a future draft of this format. But one escape card. There's a lot of escape cards in black, and obviously I kind of forced my way into black. So I'm not saying I should have gotten a escape card. There are a few that are quite good. I have the green one, that the 3-mana and a 4/1. I had the option to get the Typhon, but like obviously wasn't really playing green. Because I have the Blessing in my hand, I'm never just going to run out the presence, especially because they haven't cast any removal yet. Because if this thing sticks around, I'm just going to win. But if I do draw land, I think I'm going to go for the Commanding Presence on the Hierophant. Here I block the one that doesn't have trample, because if I do use a combat trick to push through my 0/4, then I'm totally fine. I don't take extra damage. Okay, Harpy is pretty bad here. Not for me, for them. Can't block my 1/1s. So you might be wondering why I'm not just going for the Commanding Presence line. I think, as I said earlier, they're holding up like a kill and enchantment spell. And I want to make sure I at least get one hit in with my Commanding Presence. Yep, told you. I told you. I know you weren't doubting me ever, because why would someone do that? Now we get to get our combo set up. We'll slap it on the Hierophant, First Strike Death Toucher, which is already a combo. Just make a 1/1 every turn. I could attack with everything, sacrifice a token to deal 3 damage. I don't think I will, though. Because now my tokens can just, like, quad block this guy or something. They also don't have good blocks for it anyway. Like, I can do the same. I have the same option next turn, sacrifice the same number of tokens pretty much to just do the similar amount of damage. Because they only have one blocker extra, and the Scavenging Harpy's not good at blocking 1/1s anyway. This also lowers the odds of them going, like, hit me for 10 and just having, like, a bunch of pump spells or something. Gosh, this format's fun. I like this one a lot. Reverent Hoplite next turn is going to make me a bunch of tokens. There is a Mind Rot in this format that sometimes gets played. It's like, make them discard 2, you mill 2. Which is good for the escape decks. Oh, gosh. That card's really good if you don't have removal, which I don't. It's really sweet with, like, sacrifice effects and stuff. Okay. So I kind of want to force them to chump block, so they might chump block this and then block the other guys. Yeah. Got him. Woo! Got the win. Nice. Pretty smooth sailing. Hopefully you got to see how good some of the cards were, like this Omen of the Sun and stuff like that. I'll see you folks. Ooh, I did have fun. I love this format. See you next round. Welcome to another round. I am excited. This set is awesome. Ooh, hopped up on brown sugar from my oatmeal. I was like, why am I so excited? And then I was like, wait, I just had a bowl of oatmeal with brown sugar. It's all coming together. Molasses will do that, I guess. I think that's how they make brown sugar. Ugh. Also, I really like this format. I'm sad we don't get to show off the Flicker of Fate combo, but at the time I really needed to take those creatures. Oh, we'll still have one shot at the apple with this thing. Okay, never mind. We won't have a shot at the apple with this thing. It'll be gone. Daybreak Chimera. We still have this thing, though. Not a card I generally like, but if I have a couple of really good auras, I don't mind playing one. Because it can just be a nice life gain buffer. Wow, they don't have anything? They must have something. Luckily, I don't really care about any of my creatures, so if they kill this, I don't really care. Final Death doesn't work. I don't remember all of the removal spells exactly. But I assume they have something for 4 mana that can kill this. No, they do nothing instead. That's a bold strategy. We'll see how it works out for them. Ooh, multicolor maybe. I'll get my Unicorn into play. Pegasus into Unicorn. Classic combo. It's a classic contradiction. Do they have a board sweeper? What's going on? I mean, I'm not going to play around a board sweeper here. Or a flash creature from their green-black deck. Sure, maybe they're splashing blue, but I have no idea. Now they could have Final Death. But they're going to get to cast that and kill something. I think there actually is a 2 black kill spell in this set. Attaboy, Bertha Miletus. Attaboy. This is why this card is terrible. Sometimes they'll play an enchantment creature, and then you can like get them to sacrifice that. Daybreak Chimera is going to be a 3 mana 3/3 flyer, or maybe even 2 mana. Okay, they had the final death. Sure. Chimera is going to play really well with this Hoplite. I'm going to hold this land, actually. I know I could have played it and gained 2 life, which may cost me. But I am still slightly playing around the discard, too. Because I don't have any card draw, really, that'll affect this. Because losing my Hoplite would be bad here. Losing my Dreadful Apathies would be bad. Hoplite's going to be really good here. Elspeth. What? Okay, sure, it has escape, but, like, what? So I can either play this guy now, or I can play Omen. I'm just gonna play him now. I know it's, like, less, but this is good. I get 4 tokens now. I really affect the board. They don't have any good blocks, and if they do play a good blocker, I can kill their blocker. This is one of the escape cards I was hoping to get, Mogus's Favor. Having 1 copy of that is such a huge upside. Not only because it gives you some nice attacking power, but also just, like, good utility. It's really easy to escape it. Gotta be willing to go for it. If you put Commanding Presence in your deck, you gotta be willing to put it on your creature. This is the creature that's literally like the creature I designed. Put that card in my deck for. Woo! Got the win. It's a very swingy card, but I thought I could absorb it even if I didn't get it, but they didn't really get up to much. So I'll see you folks next round. Welcome. On the play, I'm actually going to keep this hand, strange as it might sound. I've got Omen of the Sun, I've got Removal, I've got an Alseid, I've got plenty of stuff going on here. I don't need to find my mana for quite some time. I need to draw 1 land for this, but then I'll get to sack it to scry 2 at some point. Yep, drawing a land is totally good for me. I have way more white cards than black cards. We've got this Blessing. Black-green, pretty good deck. Mire Triton's a good one. I was hoping they'd attack, because for them this is a good trade. But for me, this is a good trade. Sure. So here is where I start to use my removal spells a little bit. I'll get rid of this guy. They're a little bit mana troubled as well. Not that I really care about that thing, but I do think that it's nice to just do stuff. Okay, perfect. This is actually going to work out really nicely for me. I get to Dreadful Apathy that now. I would like to draw a swamp at some point, but it has not yet been an issue. Okay. My removal lines up incredibly well against them right now. Okay, so we both kind of had a 3-lander. I will protect my guy. They should have done this post-combat, because otherwise now they don't get to attack. Here I'll hold up the Blessing, but I'll then just activate this. Sure. Still get rid of my Alseid. I think this is more important. Sure. Oh, this works out so well for me if I draw a land here for Rise to Glory. Oh well. Still should be fine. I'm at 23. I'll get to sack this to find a land. They're flooding a little bit. Oh no, this gets exiled? No, it's destroyed. It's destroyed. Okay. I just need to find a land here in the top 2. Or top 3. Yep, I'll bottom both of those, actually. I have so many action cards to play. Beautiful. This is why I was willing to get into the creature. Return this. Put this on the Underworld Charger. Sure. Sure. They have one. They get to scry 2 here. But I have 2 final deaths. A Rage Scarred Berserker. Much better board state right now. Sure. Like, these escape cards are really good, but they can tax your graveyard. I probably should attack with this 1/1. If I draw a land next turn, I can exile their Harpy or whatever. Don't really care about that. Sure, Moss Viper. Nice. Got the win. Pretty low-key game. The life gain buffer you gain from Omen of the Sun gives you so much time to make decisions, which is great. Nice win. I'll see you folks next round. Welcome to another hand. Easy keep. 1-drop, 2-drop. I'm really liking my 17 land 2 Birth of Meletus deck. And now we have Commanding Presence plus Alseed. As long as they don't play white, we'll be fine. Because if you do put this on a creature, if you give it protection from white, it'll fall off. Oh, they're playing white. Dang it. Mire's Grasp is, I think, the best common in the set. It was kind of a debate between that and the Final Death at points, which is kind of crazy to think about. But Mire's Grasp is really good. The White-Black Mirror. Not surprised. White-Black is one of the best color combinations, in my opinion. Opponent probably knows what's going on a bit. I am going to wait before deploying my Commanding Presence because I want to make sure I get at least 1 hit in. They could have an Omen of the Sun too. I'm fine doing a double trade here. And the mill is going to be really good with my Rise to Glory. Never mind. The mill does not help Rise to Glory at all, in fact. Sure, Dreadful Apathy. That should clear the way for my Commanding Presence on this guy. So now Commanding Presence at the very least was a 1/1 that kind of forced them to use a removal spell on my creature. Okay, there's Flicker of Fate. So they have all action in hand. Milling 3 lands was pretty bad for me, but that's okay. This card's quite good. We are going to kill it for sure. Yeah, I will like the land pad, but not until next turn. Wait a second, what do I have here? Yeah, we'll definitely exile it. They might have some sort of reanimation for their Bleepus. Yep. Pretty good. The Lamphead of Death's Vigil is actually pretty terrifying for them here, I think. Okay. That is a downside here of my play, but it'll be fine. Okay, Rise for Glory. Yeah, I don't like having to do this. This game's not lining up the way I wanted. Okay, that's fine, though. Okay, they have a lamp pad now. Sure. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever this one gives me. Gosh, that's brutal. So unfortunate there. Okay, so I will bring back my 3/3, I think. I could bring back this guy and then immediately get a few 1/1s, but I think this is better. Okay. Another Nyxborn Marauder, sure. Sure. So this is a delicate balance for them. They're at 3, so if I untap, I can like threaten to kill them at any point. No blocks. That was a good top deck. Woo! Got the win. I think I had him anyway. I attack with the Hierophant and this. They have to chump with their guy. And then they're just basically in deep trouble. Nice win. That was a close one. Whew. See you folks next round. Welcome to another round. Easy keep. I love me an Omen of the Sun. If you learned one thing from this video, and hopefully you've learned many, it's that Omen of the Sun is a great card. Omen of the Sun into Daybreak Chimera, potentially? Question mark? Ooh, another white-black matchup. One thing's for certain. We can say that white-black is... Oh, I wish I had my Birth of Miletus. I love that card. Love that card as well. This could be a little bit troublesome. White-black just has so much removal. Beautiful. Using your Dreadful Apathy on their escape spells is generally pretty good. Also just discounting my Chimera. Oh. That's pretty devastating. This card's really good. No shame in losing to that card if they do beat me with it. Yes. Like if they play like a Myers Grasp or something. Okay, so they're just holding up Final Death. Okay, well, we're going to go with this. And we'll hold this land because of the discard 2. And just activate that Dreadful Apathy. So they don't have a Final Death. What do they have then? I'm very confused. Are they color screwed? These are the thoughts that need to go through your head. What am my opponent doing? They haven't cast anything in like 6 turns. And they seem to have both their colors set up. Just stay cautious. I will play a land so I can scry 2 here, I think. Actually, no. I'm just going to keep my 2 lands for now. This game doesn't look like it's going anywhere. But I also don't want to let them draw spells to get back into the game if they don't have anything. But, like, running this into a removal spell is so risky. I am so smart. I am a genius. I did not need to play my lands, so I didn't. If they were saving up for a double aspect, that'd be even crazier. But that's good for us. We will scry. Okay, I like both those cards. I will start with the Commanding Presence, though. That was really bad. I put it on the wrong guy. I put the Commanding Presence onto the wrong guy. Sure. Whoops. Twas not my best moment. I was trying to, like, diversify my threats. I might end up putting double Commanding Presence on that guy. Let's just collectively agree this has not been the best play I could have made. At least I doubled down on my mistake. That was the key. What the heck did they have? Oh, gosh. That's when the opponent shows you that they had all lands in hand. The Commanding Presence play was so unforgivably bad. Oh, that was awful. I should have just put it on my flyer and not been a coward. Oh my gosh. I just assumed they had a kill spell. They have so many cards. Got there. Welcome. Here we go. Do we have any rares in our deck? I was just thinking about that. Oh yeah, we do. We have the Timuret thing. But we haven't played it a single time. Alseid of Life's Bounty is good. Protecting with the Commanding Presence. One thing that I'm just so happy about having this format back. But another thing is just like, the games just feel like you have some time to do stuff. Like they're not like ending quickly. Black, okay, perfect. So I can protect with my Commanding Presence. Sure. One of the things about Elysian Caryatid... Oh, devastating. This is one of the best uncommons in the entire set. If you see it, you should take it very highly. Like, I'm in huge trouble now. Just a clean 2 for 1 that exiles your graveyard is so good. Their deck is firing on all cylinders. This card was really funny because there were some counter spells that got played in this format, and it really wrecked them. Both on top. Nice. Okay. I'll get rid of that guy. That card's really good. Sure. Another good card. The reason I killed this thing instead of playing my guy is because I just want to give myself extra time to find like blockers and stuff and creatures. I assume they have a removal spell. Yeah. They haven't had any good targets for a while. But this is where a card like Commanding Presence can really take over a game. Like if I find a creature and their last card isn't removal, Commanding Presence can do some serious work. I don't want to use removal on this. Okay, that's a card. Fortunately, I don't have any creatures right now in the graveyard, but eventually I will. This is why Elysian Caryatid's not very good in these grindy decks. I mean, if they're splashing, it can be good, but like in general, you don't always really want the Elysian Caryatid. Sure. Extra forest here, don't do a ton. Exile it before they can get another trigger. So they might have a combat trick. This is why you put the card in your deck. to do this. Sure. Catoblepus? Sure. Catoblepus doesn't do much here. Cata not do much. I think there is +3/+3 in reach in this. But I have first strike anyway. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, they're drawing all these caryatids instead of like real spells, which is actually just like a huge like point in this format. Sure. And this is why you can first pick a commanding presence. And why Lampet of Death's Vigil is really, 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 really good. Oh, God. This has been so... I'm really having a lot of fun. This is great. See you folks next round. Welcome. Unfortunately, in this 7th round, I'll have to take my first mulligan. This is a keeper, though. I will ditch the... Oh, man. I really just want to ditch... I really want to keep this combo, because that's going to be how I win the game. So I'm going to ditch the Omen of the Sun and hope for the best here. It's kind of tricky. It's a tough call for sure. Because I could have easily just gotten rid of the Blessing or something. This is where you're just like, I might not mill anything useful. Nice. I'm going to get rid of the Rage-Scarred Berserker. So I really just want to draw a land here. So I can just jam Commanding Presence and just hope for the best. Timuric Calls the Dead is nice. It's like 2 2/2s and some scrying for 3 mana, which is just totally reasonable. Sure. No blocks. If I get a land here, I'll be very happy. Here I will ditch the Dreadful Apathy. Bring back that other guy can be really good. No attacks. That card is absurdly good. I'm in deep trouble. Okay, I think I need to keep both those. Time to block Tectonic Giant and hope for the best. It's a shame to mulligan in this spot. Sure. Nice. I'll walk into your combat trick, sir. Nice. So they don't have a removal spell, or they 100% would have used it. At least not an instant speed removal spell. And this only buffs up top power, so I can use my guys to double block them. So they have a combat trick that's a sorcery or something. 3, 6, 8. I can take it. So I just need to survive and keep my Lampad alive. Woo! Yes! Undefeated! The perfect return to Theros Beyond Death. Oh my gosh, what a win! I am so happy with how that turned out. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Let's go! Oh my gosh, we did it. Undefeated. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, in the comment section down below, leave hashtag Perfect Theros, because a perfect undefeated run as a return to the format feels amazing. Hopefully you learned a ton about the cards, the way they interact. There's already tons of draft videos that I've made for this format from when it was already out. There's a lot of sweet ones I think you'll enjoy. You can find my draft guide 2.0, which is like a draft meta update with tons of updates. Let's do a bit of a post-op on the deck, as well as things to know. Dreadful Apathy and removal in general, like things like this, Final Death, really important, especially dealing with those escape creatures. You saw my opponents didn't get to escape like a single creature in the entire draft because all of my removal spells like exiled them, which was just excellent. Rise to Glory, really good. Black is a really, really good color. The Final Deaths, the Lampad, the Venomous, these cards were all just great, especially the Final Deaths and the Lampad. And I was really just fine, like just getting a few black cards into my mostly white deck, and it was awesome. The Flyer was really good. Commanding Presence is maybe better than you'd expect if you're looking at it for the first time. I didn't need too many 2-drops. I only had 3 2-drops and an Alseid and the Birth of Meletus and stuff, and that was totally fine. The Omens of the Sun bought me a lot of time with the life gain and the tokens. I didn't need to over-index into it, though. I didn't need to go like, oh, I'm going to play this card because I have all these Omens. The 1/1s are just naturally very useful. I have Daybreak Chimera as a flyer, Hoplite, making sure I have a couple of flyers to go with my Commanding Presences was pretty awesome. But just generally, really, really satisfying draft. Rise to Glory was excellent. Hopefully you saw that part as well. And I really didn't feel bad about abandoning these red cards. They just weren't as powerful as the black cards I had available. Being able to understand that my deck doesn't really care about Pious Wayfarer. You see me won a lot of late games. Doesn't need this combat trick. I can just like play another creature, kill their blockers. The Lagona wasn't super necessary. And overall, really had a lot of fun with this one. I hope you did too. Remember to leave hashtag Perfect Theros, as I already said, in the comment section down below to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video. Let me know if you want to see more Theros Beyond Death draft action. I'm certainly enjoying this I just love this format so much. It's a ton of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it too, and I will talk to you next time.